and today we're talking about activating your inner bliss pharmacy. Basically, as people know, hi Lena, as people know, I've had lots of bad addictive habits in the past, and really what my body was doing, it was seeking pleasure and transcendence from, every day. Hi Lena, please do say hello. Oh, no, you can see, I can see you put the comments there, right, great. So, so I was seeking transcendence. I was seeking to escape my reality. I wanted to feel bliss. I wanted to feel, activated and energized and joyful and excited about life, and I wanted to feel confident. And so drugs, alcohol, involving myself with bad men at the time, all of those things gave me that lift. It gave me that hit. It gave me more alive. I felt more alive, okay? And then when I wasn't doing those things, I just felt life was very dull and a bit heavy and very kind of just trying to get to the next time where I could use something to get out of it, basically. And so I lived my life like this for years and years and years. And then I got over it through a huge shift that I had when I was 26, and it was just kind of like an epiphany, right? And so I did shift my cocaine addiction and my cigarettes. I didn't stop smoking cigarettes, and my life improved for the better. And then I got pregnant and I had a baby, and my life, I had a bit of a traumatic birth. And what happened is that I didn't really come down from that birth. I was very, very stressed out. I had obviously sleep deprived. And I know every woman gets sleep deprived when they've got kids and stuff, but it really hit me on my nervous system. And because I was always prone to anxiety and depression anyway, it was like I just went downhill. Plus I was trying to run a business, and actually my business was my only form of able to shut into. I was able to focus and not feel that stressed. But I was stressed. I was chronically stressed after having my son, and I just never really came down. And so when he was about a year and a half, I'd say, he's like 3.5 now, I started drinking a lot more, right? And what happened is that the wine was giving me, I could work and I could look after my son. I wasn't drinking loads, let's be clear. I was only drinking in the evenings, and I was just having 2 or 3 glasses. But what it allowed me to do was carry on through the evening, and I wasn't able to do that before, right? I would be absolutely exhausted and absolutely stressed, and I'd have all this work to do and really no ability to do it. And the wine was just a buffer, right? And it allowed me to get through. And what I liked about it was that I could drink a glass of wine and I could do my work, right? Where I'd have to work in the evenings. And so it became a habit, right? It became a worse habit. So even though I'd had this huge shift and cut out of these horrible addictions before, it was like, well, what else am I supposed to do? Because I just found myself completely exhausted. And so then I discovered breath work, okay? And the reason I love breath work so much it didn't replace the wine straight away, but what I found is that when I would do the breath work, I just didn't really need to have a glass of wine. Okay, so it was never about for me, it was never about being sober. It was about not needing something to calm my system, right? Because what you're dealing with when you're in addiction, rather than just it being a bad habit, is that even though it's bad and it's actually ruining your system, you can't stop doing it, because ultimately your body needs to find its pleasure somewhere, right? So your body's always trying to move you towards pleasure, and that's why you'll have some kind of addiction or habit that distracts you or takes you out of your current reality, right? So what happened was I started doing breath work, and I found, beautifully, amazing, can't believe I had to wait till I was like 33, 34 to figure this out, but that you can actually get really high and really blissed out through doing breath work. So I'm talking about that today. Hi Heidi, thanks for coming on, and lovely to see you, long time no see. And so I found that actually you can quite quickly shift your emotional state, get more activated or calm down very quickly using breathwork. And I struggle with meditation. Why? Because it means I have to sit there for 20 minutes, half an hour, which I didn't have, right? Sit there on my own, silence, able to calm down. Whereas with breathwork, I was able to actually just use it instantly, like I could have a glass of wine and carry on. You can do breath work anywhere, anytime. And there's longer extended breath works that I would always suggest people do, because you do actually get into kind of like a really heightened state like you do when you get really high. So you actually do transcend your normal working mind much quicker for me than normal meditation. And you literally, your body is so nourished by breath work as well. It's a really beautiful thing to do for yourself. It's not bad. It can be quite strong, so it can be quite detoxifying. So some people have to find it, you have to find your edge and then just be gentle with yourself, especially if you've been holding on to chronic stress, which I was. There was this kind of point where I felt so uncomfortable. What it was doing is it was activating areas of my system that had been tense. The way I see it is that they were rigid, right? And this is what I mean by chronic stress, is like you're in an ongoing, you've almost got used to it. You've got used to feeling stressed, and you don't even realise that you're stressed anymore, right? That's kind of where I was. So if anyone knows how that feels, then put an emoji in the comments, right? It's like, oh, I was actually really frigging stressed, right? And you don't even know because you're so used to it. So what I'm going to teach you today is how to activate this inner bliss pharmacy quickly. So these are strong breathwork practices, right? And so there are some contraindications. Like, I'm pregnant, so I wouldn't actually be practicing these breathwork practices right now because they're very activating on the system. But if you do find that you're someone who gets low, you find it struggle to get motivation, you find it you're walking around in a lot of irritation or brain fog, these are really quick and really great at just shifting your energy. Okay, so this is like 10 minutes or less, but there are all sorts of longer breathwork practices where you can actually like go into a completely deep altered state. Okay, and so I would recommend you try something like that as well, but this is just like in the moment. If you're like, okay, I just need to run to the loo and change my state, or you can even do it. So for me, it was great because I could do it with my son in the room, right? He didn't make it so that I couldn't shift my energy. Whereas if I had to do something like meditation or go for a walk or go for a run, he would climb all over me, right? So like being a mum, it was basically impossible to get that me time. And the breath is really helpful with that. Oh yes, I know what that's like too well. Yeah, Lena, I know your story as well. So yeah, absolutely. And I know how powerful you find the breath work, Lena. So 3 breath work practices. If you're pregnant, what are these things again? If you're pregnant, if you've got any acute severe illness, epilepsy, a pacemaker or heart arrhythmias, then basically you want to be really careful. And also you just need to know, like some people find it, they get very lightheaded when they do this. Other people can handle it straight off. So everyone's different and you've got to be your own guide, and there are ways of adapting it. So I'm going to teach you how to do these practices, but there are ways of doing it softer. So there's 3. So you've got a choice out of 3. And all of these will shift the energy quite quickly in your system. So if you do them for 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, you can have little breaks in between. But what I suggest you do is put on some decent music, like music that you like. So it's not like you're just sitting there bored, right? You sit there with a bit of music on. I have got meditations if you'd like to try them. I've got one particular one that I'm giving away for free now. So if you really would like to try a more extended version, it's only 20 minutes, but it is still really powerful. And then you can go for much longer. Some people do an hour. And honestly, I was someone who, if I have to practice something that doesn't entertain me or doesn't interest me, I'm just not going to do it over and over again. But because you do feel so blissed out, you can actually lie there for an hour with the music playing, and you can do it, and you can actually feel your body going into this blissful state. So let's get going. Who have we got? Okay, so you always want to make sure that you're sitting up with your straight spine, or that you're lying down flat, okay? One of them you'll have to be sitting up, but the rest of them you can be lying down as well. So the first one is called the tri-breath, okay? So the tri-breath is in through the nose twice and out through the mouth. Okay, if you put your hand on your tummy so you know where you're breathing into, you don't want to be breathing into the chest, you always want to be breathing into the diaphragm. Okay, so the way you'll know is when you breathe in. If you watch me, the chest rises a little bit, but it doesn't come right up, whereas this is chest breathing. Okay, so the chest rises first, but if you put your hand on the tummy, then it's like the actual belly's moving, and it obviously goes into the chest as well, but it doesn't, like, you're not going straight here, you're going into the belly first. Okay, so that's what you do. And then as you do this, I'm not going to keep going with it, but I will just teach you the technique because I'm pregnant. So you do in through the nose and strong out the mouth. And again, you can make it stronger or you can make it more gentle. So you go like this. And it's 3 breaths, 2 breaths in through the nose and 1 out the mouth. And what this is doing is you're building a strong, if you have a shorter exhale than you do inhale, then you're going to activate the system. If you have a longer exhale, then you're going to relax the system. So this is an activating one. This is to get more energy. This is to get more oxygen in quickly. So it's and if you keep doing that 5-10 minutes, you can set an alarm, or you can put 3 songs on or whatever it is, and you keep doing that, and then you take a deep breath in at the end. Or you can do this, say you do 3 minutes, you can do this, hold at the top, hold it for as long as you can. I'm not going to hold it as long as I can, but I'm going to hold it, you hold it for as long as you can, and then release through the mouth. And you can do a couple of those if you need a pause, and then you just go back round again. So, and something else, if you want to activate even stronger, you can put your arms over your head, because also the positioning in your body will help you to feel more energized as well, rather than if you're slumped on a sofa, right? So that's number 1. The second one you can do is called the blow breath. Okay, so this is just in through the mouth and in through the nose, in through the mouth and out through the mouth, but it's like so it's like pursed lips, as if you're breathing through a straw, but you can do it quite strong. So again, do it for as long as you can. And again, you'll find that that's very activating. And when you need to, you can take a full deep breath in, release through the mouth, and reset yourself and start again. Okay, always breathing into the belly though. That's called the blow breath. And the last one is the breath of fire. Now you'll know this if you are a yogi, right? This is Kundalini yoga practice. In fact, all of these are based on some kind of pranayama, which is yoga. And what you do is you don't have to put your arms overhead, but you can, because it is, again, more activating. Then you breathe into, what you do is you focus on the stomach, but you're sucking the stomach in on the exhale. So you're actually not thinking about the inhale. You just go through the nose and you suck the stomach in like you were, like that, okay? So I can't really show you with my belly, but you can look this up on YouTube if you want to, but you go. So you're actually not you can't even hear the inhale. You're actually just doing an exhale, but in a short, sharp thing. And as the exhale happens, you suck your stomach in like that. And it's quite a hard thing to do. So that one you probably only practice for 5 minutes. But again, it's like Gabrielle Bernstein calls it the ego eradicator, because you're any like negative, low vibe, crappy thinking, it just gets shifted. So you want to do these for, minimum 5 minutes to get a real shift. The breath of fire, the one that I just showed you then, that's probably going to require a little bit more gentleness. And then if you can go up to 10 minutes, and again, like I said, if you want to try a different type of breathwork practices, which you breathe in time with the music, and you do go into a really blissful state, it's not as activating, but you will feel really clear, peaceful, whatever, like the world is just like, everything's fine after you've had one of these experiences. And I'd love it if Lena's still here. She can vouch for that, because she just loves doing the breath work. Sends me messages how she likes it. So that's it.